So if you've been online looking for a way to heat your tent for overlanding or even your shop or garage, I'm going to tell you about this 8 kilowatt diesel heater from Vevor. Starting off with the size and portability, it's fairly small, enough for you guys to take out overlanding, camping, whatever you want. It's not too much of a hassle to take with you. It comes with an intake tube, and then this is going to be where the heat comes right out the front. A lot of people are probably going to want to pick up a longer tube of this, just so it can, like, if it's going up into your tent or something like that, you want a little bit more reach, but this does come with it. And then also, this machine comes with a wireless controller, which is nice. So if you're in the tent, you want to turn the heat down or up, that's a nice feature. As well as it comes with a muffler for the exhaust, so this thing's not going to be too loud. And then you get the intake filter here and all the hose clamps and hardware for mounting this and everything. And an instruction manual. The operation is all pretty straightforward. There's only a few buttons here on the front. I'm going to test this for a few weeks, then I'm going to jump back with you guys so we can get sort of the final overview impressions of this unit after I put like some decent hours on it. Initial impressions, I'm pretty stoked on it. So hopefully we'll be able to heat the shop here a little bit more and check back with you guys in a second. It's about 50 degrees in the shop today, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how I've been using this diesel heater. First off, just to keep the shop warm so I can stay working on projects out here. As you guys can see, it is not insulated, and that's mainly how I wanted to test this diesel heater. And what I do know is that it works great for a tent, camping, overlanding. It's going to heat pretty much any size tent you have really well, and you're going to be able to sleep in like really cold, freezing conditions. About how much warmer you guys can actually expect with something like this. But let me show you guys the setup. This is where the heat is coming out, and as you can see, it runs all the way up there to the little Vevor diesel heater, and I just got a battery that I'm powering it with. It just is the easiest for right now. But the reason that it is up here, let me hop up here and show you guys, is to route the exhaust. Now there's already a vent up here, so we're just pretty much poking this out the vent, so that way we got no fumes or anything. It's just a convenient spot, so I didn't have to drill another hole in the shop. There was already a hole there, so we're utilizing that. We just made it slightly bigger for the exhaust to fit in. It works really well, and it's tucked up into the corner, and I can pull this and manipulate this. I can take this and take it further out if I want, but I found that keeping it down in here when I'm working on the bench here is really nice. It keeps the whole back half of the shop nice and warm. And what we're going to do for you guys, we are going to fire this thing up, and we're going to run through all 6 heat cycles and give you guys some decibel readings on it. And we're going to put the temp gun on this end so you guys can know what temperatures you can expect from a unit like this, and we'll touch on everything else. So I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear that on the mic, but right now it's doing its startup process, and it's not very loud while it's starting up. We'll check on the decibel meter here. I'm about, I don't know, this would be like 3 or 4 feet away. It's at 41 decibels as it's starting up here. And I did want to preface that I've been using this probably now for, I have about 60 hours of runtime on it, I would say. I've used it here in this shop, and I've used it at the shop at work, and it really does a lot. In this shop, I ran a test the other day. I had it on heat setting 3 out of 6, and I let it warm up the shop for an hour, and it raised the temperature in the shop by just over 21 degrees. The setting of 3 is kind of optimal for not using too much fuel. I also ran some tests with it on heat 1. On heat setting 1, I was able to run it for well over 16 hours, 2 complete days of work. and that helped a lot. And the fuel was down to around a quarter or just under a quarter tank. So I think it could have got around over 20 hours of runtime on the first heat setting. Now, if you're gonna leave it on 3 or higher, it's gonna go a lot faster. You can definitely get more than a day's worth on heat level 3, but once you get into 5 and 6, it kicks out a lot of heat and uses a decent amount of fuel, but that's sort of what you'd expect. Now, as this thing's firing up, it's around 66 decibels. I'll check in with you guys after this thing is running at its proper temperature on heat setting 1. Temperature coming out of here looks to be about between 137 and 140 degrees. At level 3, it's not much louder, but let's see if I can show you guys this again. It's definitely hotter coming out, topping out at 160. Level 6, it's definitely louder. It sort of sounds like a small jet engine up there. Still not too bad. It's not like you can't have conversations or anything around it, but it is a lot more noticeable. And that fan is really pushing. Let's check the temperature coming out of here again. And it's been running for a few minutes now at level 6, so. All right, so that's topping out around 178, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So and it's coming out at a much faster rate. So level 6 is really cranking. Once again, I don't have like long-term fuel consumption numbers at level 6, but I do know, like I said before, I tested it on 3 and 1. Level 6 is really going to burn through the fuel. All right, so now that we got the heater turned back down to level 1, obviously also it would be kind of interesting to go back and listen to the audio so we can see kind of like how loud it is. Like I said, it's not really too bad here. I just can kind of hear it in the background, mainly the clicking of the fuel pump, and it's not really that bad. But that's sort of the overview of this diesel heater from Vevor, and you can pick this up directly from Vevor or on Amazon. The price varies between like 130 and 140 bucks on Amazon. It's been cold here in California for us. I know for a lot of you guys up north or back east, it's not cold. But for here, it's been cold, and we just got hit with a really big rainstorm. There's been a lot of flooding and evacuations and stuff here. So it's been nice during this colder weather to be able to use the shop and not be freezing my tail off. I know that sometimes when I come out here in the morning, you can I can see my breath and stuff, and having the heater on eliminates that, so it's nice. And a lot of people are using these for overlanding rooftop tents, which is going to be actually something I'm going to be using it for eventually. But for now, it's going to be used here in the shop. And then once we get out on the trails, I'll be bringing it along. It'd be really nice for the tent. I'm actually really excited to get up there in the rooftop tent and have some nice heat. There's been a few nights where the tent, it did its job and we were warm enough, but having some nice constant heat really would have helped us sleep better. So haven't had any issues with this heater for all that time that I've used it. If you're interested in picking one up, I will have links down in the description for those of you that want to check it out. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Losing time, I'm fading fast.